Everyone, and welcome back to Unedited Chatter with Stephanie and Tisha. We're so excited that you're here with us.
Edited Chatter drops new episodes every other Wednesday. Don't forget to like or subscribe and follow on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And the socials listed in the show notes. This show is an independent production. The views here are our own and not those of our professional roles or employers. This is Unedited Chatter. Let's get to it. I could not be more excited to introduce our friend at this point. Willie Spears is a critically acclaimed author, highly sought after speaker and educator. He spent 20 years in education as an administrator, a teacher, a coach, and has written so many books. His socials are blowing up. You'll see why in just a second. I'm not going to read his whole bio. We will put it in the show notes, but he is absolutely amazing and I wouldn't do it justice. So again, let's get to him speaking, not us. Willie, welcome.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm honored to be on Unedited. And I tell you, even though it's June 15th, it's great to see those Christmas lights in the background. We're a few months early, Dr. Tish, but thank you so much for reminding us that Christmas is only 6 months away.
Okay, so Willie and I have known each other for a very long time. We won't tell you how long because that will tell you how old we are. We did go to college together at Northwestern Oklahoma State University, and that's where I want to start with you because I met you there. You got your degree there. You were a teacher, right? But you are not now. So I kind of want you to take us through. She read in your bio, you were an administrator, you were a coach. You did all the things, right? In public school. How did that start? Where are you now? Why did you leave?
Well, I love public education. I still sub, believe it or not.
I heard
substitute
that.
right now. I still do. So I absolutely love it. For me, sports was the leading cause. That's why we met. I left Florida to come to Northwestern. It was the best opportunity for me to play sports. I was blessed to be a part of a 31-game win streak there and won a national championship. And so those are some great memories. When I left there, I wanted to get into entertainment. I worked on a cruise ship for 2 years as a comedian and an entertainer. I did some TV shows and did some other media projects. And then my old high school football coach called me and offered me a job. He said, would you like to coach and teach? You'll be a health teacher and maybe do some math and reading. I was like, whoa, math and reading. And he said, well, we have some math and reading courses for students who aren't on level that you may be qualified to teach as well. And so that kind of started it, but I never thought I would stay. I thought I would do that for a little while and get back into some other entertaining or something of that nature. And my first year teaching, I realized the impact instantly. I saw that there was no other profession where I could change a life so fast or have impact on a life. Like telling a young man, hey, bro, I like those shoes, bro. I see you doing your thing, man. Instantly, there was a connection, and that child would connect with me. And when that child would misbehave, somebody could come and get me. And because of our relationship, I could talk to him, especially if I looked just like him. It was so easy for me. I didn't need a lot of training. I didn't need someone to convince me I should do it. And then I was in an in-service, professional development, and they said African-American males were graduating at the lowest rate in the entire state, and they could not read or do math with their grade level. I took that as a challenge. So that became my challenge in life. I'm going to change this myself. Every young man, I don't care what they look like, and young woman, but especially ones that look like me, I'm going to make a difference. And that's when I started writing books. I wanted to write books that I thought that they would read. Books that had these 12 powerful words by Ricky Bell and other words that they could use and learn how to do standardized tests. So that's kind of how it started. And you blink, and Stephanie and Tish, I'm 20 years in. And I'm like, wow. And then I realized some of the changes I wanted to make, I couldn't make because some people were not in the business for children. They were in the business for themselves. And I didn't like that. But I thought, I have to do this. I got to retire. What am I going to do? And it took 4 administrators, just being honest, I've never said this publicly, 4 administrators, for lack of a better phrase, got on my nerves. And I said to myself, I don't have to do this anymore. And that kind of pushed me into the public speaking space. And now I go into every one of those schools except one. I've gone back into those schools. And the one school I haven't gone to, I've spoken in that district several times, right? And so I don't have anything against them, but they were the nudge I needed to do something different. And in my mind, I'm still in public education, just in a different lane.
It's funny. One of my favorite quotes of all times, young Stephanie, old Stephanie, is they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And everything you said speaks to that because you can be the best dang math teacher ever. You can be the best dang science teacher ever. But if you don't have that relationship, that trust, that bond to be able to talk to Willie and Tisha and whoever else is in your classroom, you're not going to get any place. 20 years ago, the Willie and the Willie today, you're walking into a classroom. Besides your knees and your back, what's different?
Well, 20 years ago, they respected me because of the title. When I walked in, Mr. Spears, I had their respect when I walked in. Now it's not like that. Now these young people, you not only have to earn their respect, but you have to earn it every single day. And the quote you just gave, Stephanie, is exact truth. They don't care how much you know. There's no student walking around saying, my teacher has a doctorate degree. My teacher graduated from OU. My teacher, they don't give a crap. And if they don't think they matter to you, then what you teach doesn't matter to them because they don't realize they need the information. And if we're honest, these devices can give almost everything that a teacher can give as far as knowledge, but the devices can't build relationships. So the device, AI, it can't tell me, oh, Johnny's acting different, so you need to check on Johnny. And I know Johnny's always bouncing off the wall. In the last 2 days, Johnny's been very quiet and to himself. So I go talk to Johnny and I find out Johnny's granny's in the hospital. She has cancer. I find out Johnny's moving again. That's the 4th time this year, and we're not at the Christmas break yet. I find out Johnny's parents are going through a divorce. So AI can't do that. That's why teaching will never be replaced. But if we are relegated to just passing out worksheets, if we're relegated to just, here's my lesson plan, this is what I've done the last 5 years, this is what I'm going to do. Now we become the robot, and then there is no relationship. And so I saw principals. When I was an administrator, I saw principals, superintendents. They didn't care. It was all about numbers. We're going to pass them along. This is no joke. 2 students live with us. 2 students. I just didn't think they were going to make it. So we moved them in with us. We didn't tell anybody. It was nobody's business. We took care of them. We never asked for a dime. And one of them, a counselor, said to me, why are you helping this kid? You know that he's not going to graduate. True story. So fast forward, it's graduation day. And I didn't think he made it. He had not passed a part of the graduation test, and we didn't think the results were going to come in time when he retook it. So I'm in line, and y'all know my personality. I'm laughing and joking. So in the graduation line, the way they did it in this community, in this school district, a teacher would be here and then 15 students. And this teacher would announce these 15 graduates. So we practiced it twice, got the names down right. So that's how they did it. I don't know why. So I was standing there, and I was joking with my line. I said, hey, my man, they just called and said, you got a worksheet you didn't complete in 4th grade, so you're not going to be able to graduate. I'm so sorry. And they were like, are you kidding me? I said, it's a desk right over there. If you go. So I was doing this, like laughing and joking with the kids and making fun of them and stuff like that. And then when I got to my diplomas, the lady was going to hand me a stack. She worked in the front office. I cannot remember her name. She's a big LSU fan. Tall lady. She said, did you hear? Did you hear, Willie? Did you hear? I said, did I hear what? Now I'm laughing and joking. I said, did I hear what? She says, he graduated. I said, what? And she said his name. She says, we just got the news. They went to get him from his house. He's going to walk. He graduated. Instantly, I started crying. Instantly. And my first thought was, I'm glad I didn't listen to that counselor. I'm glad I didn't listen to that. Now this young man, he's married, has 3 children. He's a construction foreman. He's doing great. I talked to him about 4 months ago, actually. And this was 2012. And so I say that to say, I care so much that it bothers me when other people don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be on a team with people that don't care. And so I'm not saying everyone's like that. But for me, I just had to do something else. And now I can help more people in what I'm doing now. Because I don't have the handcuffs of the systems, if you will.
Right. So if you haven't seen Willie speak, you need to go to his website, which we'll put in the show notes, all this stuff. His speeches are amazing. We've seen him, all the stuff. But so when a school calls you, what are you hearing nowadays that they want you to talk about? Like what's important to the schools and why? Like what's happening out there?
It will blow your mind. I want to get deep with this school. I want to show how smart I am. I taught intensive math and intensive reading, and someone messed around and gave me an honorary doctorate, and I earned a master's degree at Troy University in education. I've written all these books, and this is what they say. Our teachers' morale is low.
Does not surprise me at all.
Our teachers are leaving the profession. Our teachers don't realize their value. I know you have all these charts, Willie. I know you have all these graphs. I know you have this great quantitative data, and we appreciate it. But our teachers just need to be uplifted. And so what I do, because I learned a long time ago that facts fade and stories stick. So I go in and I encourage them to tell stories about their favorite teachers. And it re-energizes the room, and they remember, wow, my 3rd grade teacher did see me. They cared about me. They made a difference in my life. I need to be that teacher. And so I remind them, you may not know this consciously, but the reason you're a teacher is because you saw a teacher you wanted to be like. You probably didn't know which one it was, but it was something about them that you wanted to be that. And now you are. They multiplied themselves. So don't let the grown-ups, don't let the system push you out, right? And so the way I look at it, I left education, but I just took a detour and it said rerouting. I just came around another way. So I do consulting. There's a school, a district in Youngstown, Ohio. I go there every month and we spend a whole week there every month, talking to middle schools, high schools, to parents. And we're making a real difference. And their principal, Michael Sonner, he sent us the data and the tardinesses have changed, right? The fights are almost to zero when they had so many fights, not just truancy and fighting and referrals, but also the willingness to want to try and learn, the respect for teachers. We did a whole presentation on code switching, and I acted it out. There's one way to talk to your friends and one way to talk to your teacher. Your teacher's not your bruh. Hey, what up, bro? What we doing today, bro? What page you on? No. I'm your teacher. I'm Miss Jones. I'm not your bruh, right? And so we talked about it's okay. It's not being fake. It's being professional. And the examples I use, if you're a granny, I say, who here loves your granny? These are middle schoolers. They all put their hand up. I said, now, what if your granny was having surgery? Would you want the surgeon to come in and say, hey, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Hey, your boy finna do this. I'm like a neurologist, cardiologist. You know what I'm saying? I've seen every episode of Grey's Anatomy. You know, hey, you would say, sir, no disrespect. We want someone else. We were like a geek that only cares about neurology, and that's all he does 24. We don't want a guy that has to make a tea time. We don't want a guy that's concerned about how good his outfit looks. We want a guy that's disheveled because all he cares about is working on people's brain. That's what. And so they're like, that makes sense. And I say every neurologist was a sixth grader. Every cardiologist was a seventh grader. Right? And so every one of them, they was in 6, 7, right? So they was in 6th or 7th grade, just like the rest of us. And so that helped, but it's good to see the results of the work.
I love that. That's amazing. I had to laugh too.
I get a text today, got you, twin. And I'm like,
See, when you learn, that's another thing. You have to learn their lingo. So
Yeah.
I've spoken in foreign countries where they didn't know what I was saying. I had an interpreter. I had someone speak for me. So if you don't know the language of middle school, you have to learn the language. You have to know who Mr. Beast is. Like you have to know their world. You have to know about Fortnite. I'm speaking at a middle school this Friday. I'm going to lead with video games. I'm going to do analogies based on video games. Everything is going to be based on Fortnite, Roblox. It's going to be their world. And I think sometimes you ask what's missing in the classroom, teachers don't realize that TikTok can help them be a better teacher. Like it's
I'm there to learn lingo. Yes, you're right.
right. It's totally different than it was 20 years ago. Teachers got to realize that because the world has changed. And the joke I make with teachers, I hope you have changed. Right? I hope you're not the same person you were 20 years ago. And we have to change with the times. And some of us are stubborn. We want to use an overhead projector and a Commodore 64 computer. But the kids have changed. The world has changed. But what hasn't changed is the power of relationships.
100%. So I want you to leave us with one thing as we wrap up. You said the teacher morale. What do you want to say to the teachers that are listening to this right now?
We need you, right? This sounds so corny, but you matter. Teachers are the most important people in the world. That's why I still sub. I'm telling you, they're the most important people in the world. This is why, because everyone you meet, they had to matriculate through some type of educational system. And teachers spend more time with our children than anyone else. I often ask teachers this. I say, can I borrow your cell phone? And they'll hand it to me. I said, I'm gonna send it back in a few days. I said, I lost mine and I gotta travel. And they're gonna say, wait a minute. I can't. I mean, come on, you can use it, but you can't. I said, okay, what about your car? My rental car, the tire's flat. Can I use your car? Just for a few days, I'll bring it right back. And the answer is always no. So you wouldn't let me borrow your car and you wouldn't let me borrow your cell phone. But these people are letting you borrow their children every single day. I give you my child every day. You have many cell phones. You have many vehicles. I don't think I want Taylor and Kenneth, and I trust them with you, a stranger. And so when you paint it in that picture, that illustration lets them realize, wow, these parents must think a lot of me if they will give me their best. Why do we give teachers our best? Because we know that they're the best. It proves it. And let's be honest. You guys wouldn't just let anyone watch your nephew, your niece, or your child. And let's be real. Something in your own family. You won't even let them. Can we go to Uncle Johnny house? No, we can't. No, But Uncle Johnny wants to see me. Tell him to FaceTime you. Now, you're not going over there. I've known Uncle Johnny his whole life. We're not going to Uncle Johnny's. No. But we let teachers have our children. It proves how important teachers are. And so I'm grateful for all my teachers. I can remember them all. Kindergarten, Miss Jones, first grade, Miss Harvey, second grade, Miss Brandon, third grade, Miss Law, fourth grade, Miss Acabellas, fifth grade. I can remember every single one of them because they made an impact in my life.
Shout out teachers.
Their legacy is living on through me every single day.
And we can stop it right there because that was amazing. Thank you so much, Willie.